Hey everyone, I just wanted to come on today and talk a little bit about BTS again, and in particular J Hope and the V Live with Jimin, and Jimin's coming there and supporting him. And I've been seeing a lot on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, in my Facebook group that I'm in, as well as on this app, about a lot of concern for their health and them getting through this process. And I'm not a therapist. I don't have a doctorate in medicine or anything like that, but I've been a pastor for 30 years, and I have been blessed to be able to meet with many, many people that have gone through a lot of things, including my own personal things that I've gone through. And I've actually gone to a counselor, with for grief counseling and different things. So what I will say is that, J Hope even saying how he hadn't eaten and how much weight he lost and that type of thing is really, I don't want to say normal. I'll just say that he's adjusting. They all are adjusting to operating as individuals. I can't even imagine what it must be like. I think the closest thing we probably can imagine is maybe twins, and how close twins are, and how when they finally do something different from each other, how it can be kind of upsetting to them. And so I just think they're all going through that in their own ways. Look at what RM, said in his V Live, just about life's okay, I guess it's worth keep going, and he's saying that because he's used to doing life with six other people on a continual basis, with a focus and a reason and a purpose of getting the next album out. Of he had a lot of responsibility, and so now that is taken off his shoulders for a period. It's like, whoa, I guess I'm okay. I guess, everything's all right. And then Hobie was the first one to jump out there with his new album. And, he was preparing, and all of them had been preparing, prior to COVID, to do this anyway. It's just 2 years later. And then to be the first one, that extra pressure, not wanting to, disappoint his brothers or bring down BTS's reputation, and then wanting to but still wanting to be him, and all of that, and I think that all of them are experiencing that in their own way. Even if you notice a difference between Jin's red carpet, when the one preview or premiere versus the second, and he gained a little confidence that it's okay for me to be me, and that's why he pulled out the paper, and because that's who he is, and kind of like the heart thing that he used to do all the time for concerts. So they're all going to be going through this, and it has to be extremely difficult, because I can't imagine you do life like that. And I guess the closest thing I can relate is when my husband died, is everything was Aaron and Cheryl, Aaron and Cheryl, Aaron and Cheryl. And all of a sudden, I had to figure out who Cheryl was by herself. Just Cheryl. And I've come a long way since that initial shock. And I'm finally kind of feeling it a bit, that this is who I am, just me. And at the same time, I don't regret a one moment of my past, with my late husband, and it'll always be a treasured part of who I am. But my best is yet to come. And so I found out who Cheryl is by herself. And then I think in the future, if I get married to someone else, it'll be a whole nother thing. And so that's the closest thing I can relate to, but this has to be an incredible change. And so I think some of the concern is warranted. And if you're a praying person, pray for them. Pray they're surrounded by people, other than the members, who can support them, that they can learn to fill out their circle a little bit more. I know one of the challenges I had was, after my husband died, was figuring out who my friends were going to be that I had before he died, if they were going to stick with me, and then being open to bringing someone else new into that close circle of friends that was not a friend before. And so you're kind of learning those skills all over again, of how to make friends and how to interact outside of what you used to think was normal and everybody was doing. I so relate, and they're going to be okay. And not only okay, they're going to be even better when they come back together. Look at what that experience was like for J Hope, and what it meant to him, and to who he is as a man and an artist and as a person. And just think of the path that he broke out for the others to follow in. It's really an incredible, just kind of life thing to watch. So I think the concern is wonderful, but I think it should be redirected towards, in my mind, prayer, but also just towards understanding that we all go through these changes. And if you aren't willing to go through these changes, then you stay stuck and you may even burn out. And they said BTS will be forever. So we're taking this time to find out who we are as individuals. And when we come back together, you better watch out. And I cannot wait to see that. But I'm going to enjoy this journey. And I think we all should.